he's killing people in the union to leverage the union to get votes so that he can affect the presidency. Like that's his plan. Looks like she might thinks Jackson can help him. And he's like, nah, you got to go. Like he's like getting black girls hooked on heroin. Like, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, people of all ages, welcome back to the Sticky Floors podcast. I am one of your hosts, CJ. I am joined by Mr. Will. Mr. Will, we are back, man. We took some time off while the rappers got jerked. You know what I mean? Like we had we had a good time, man. But we're back. What you been doing, man? How you been doing?
I've been catching up on some flicks, things that I haven't watched that were highly recommended that I had been delaying intentionally. I watched a couple of anime joints too. Just
Mm-hmm.
kicking
Mm-hmm.
back, chilling. What about you, fam?
Got it. Pretty much the same thing. Pretty much the same thing. Just like, like I like watching movies, man. So it's like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like it's not like it helps that we do this podcast, but I watch movies anyway. So,
yeah.
I still been like watching stuff. I checked out a couple of things and it was like I covered some things that I'm not sure that I would ever want to do on sticky floors, like past lives, for example. I don't think we would ever cover that. But it's like I like the sometimes like you watch stuff as a palate cleanse for other stuff that you've
Yeah,
watched
yeah,
before. So like when I think about our last episode, we ended with, Training Day, which
yeah.
is like really action drama. So then like, watching something like Past Lives, it was like, okay, everything's in subtitles and it's like, this Asian love story thing. So it was a real palate cleanse for me. So
Yeah.
you do stuff like that, man. But I'm glad that we're back. Glad our listeners are back with us. If this is your
Yeah,
first
here,
time
here.
with us, yo, welcome to the experience. Every week we get together, we talk about movies that have been in theaters a long time ago, stuff that's in theaters right now, stuff that's never been in theaters, and it just goes straight to streaming. For tonight, we're dealing with something that hasn't been in movie theaters in a long time.
'88.
Right, in 1988, we just got to set them straight. You know what I mean? So we kicking it with Action Jackson, man. So like, yeah, we're in our full. This is still February. You know what I mean? It's Black History Month, so we
Yes,
doing
yes.
Action Jackson with our main man Carl Weathers. Rest in peace.
Yeah, definitely.
So Mr. Will, give us a summary so we can get into this one, man.
Yeah, and for the romantic individuals out there, man, I don't know, CJ, maybe we might want to do a black romance at the end of the month to
Some
commemorate
romance,
this past Valentine's Day. You know, two for
romance.
one.
What we gonna do? Like Brown Sugar or
Mm,
with Love and Basketball or
maybe. I'm just
Love
saying,
Love
man.
Jones?
I'm
Like
just
so.
saying, try and balance out the scales a little bit, give them a little
So
bit of everything. We got the action, the '80s nostalgia. You gotta balance it out somehow. But that's
some
just food for
some
thought.
some with Sanaa Lathan in it,
It,
maybe.
food for thought. I'm just
Maybe.
saying.
I,
And yes, definitely shout out to before I get this in because he's a former Raider. Shout out to Carl Weathers.
oh, we're gonna talk about
Yeah,
that. Oh
yeah,
yeah, we're
yeah.
gonna talk
Definitely.
about that. Yeah, we're gonna
Shout out
get
to
into
Carl
that.
Weathers. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, let's get into this synopsis. So as we mentioned, Action Jackson is a 1988 action thriller directed by Craig R. Baxley and starring Carl Weathers in the title role. The film follows Detroit Police Sergeant Jericho Action Jackson, a tough and determined officer known for taking down powerful criminals. When a series of murders targets members of the automobile industry, Jackson uncovers a conspiracy tied to corrupt business magnate Peter Delafane. As he digs deeper, Jackson becomes a target himself, forcing him to rely on his strength, intelligence, and relentless drive to expose the truth. Throughout the investigation, Jackson forms uneasy alliances with nightclub singer Sydney Ash, played by Vanity, and Delafane's
Yes.
mistress Patrice, portrayed by Sharon Stone.
Yeah.
The film blends explosive action sequences, including high speed chases and intense hand to hand combat, with
Mm-hmm.
moments of suspense and drama. Jackson's pursuit of justice leads to final confrontation that tests his courage and resilience against overwhelming odds. Excuse me. Combining sharp one liners with gritty action, the movie embodies the high energy, larger than life lifestyle of late 1980s action cinema.
It really does. It really does, man. And it really like I felt like he's yelling out, "How do you like your ribs?" All so many times while you were saying that, man.
Yeah.
Yo, yeah. So, like you said, man, released in 1988. Carl was starring Carl Withers. Carl Weathers, sorry, rest in peace. Passed away February 2nd,
Mm,
2024. Vanity also passed away in February, much earlier. Craig T. Nelson, which I got so much commentary for. Sharon Stone, Bill Duke is in here also
yeah.
with features from Sonny Landham, who
Yeah.
also was in Predator, and Al Leong.
I was just about to say the
Yes,
entire
yeah.
cast of either Predator or Commandos in this joint.
How
I was just
about
waiting
that?
for Arnold Schwarzenegger to pop up,
He
man.
should have been in it. He should have been in it, man. This is currently available for purchase on Prime or Apple TV for $3.99 if you want to rent it, $9.99 if you want to buy it. I'm not sure I
Mm.
would recommend that unless you're a real fan. But hey, it's your money. The movie was produced for $10 million and made $20 million. For the
Hmm.
most part, not critically acclaimed at all. Does feature the song "He Turned Me Out" by the Pointer Sisters, who are actually in here real quick. When you
Yeah.
watch it, you see them in there. Of course, "He Turned Me Out" has multiple meanings, which we'll get to as we talk about this. And
Heard Gerald
lastly,
Levert in that joint too, I think, on one of the songs in the soundtrack.
it might be. Yep, absolutely, absolutely. I'm a little partial to "With Faraway Eyes" though by Vanity. I
Mm.
felt like in the joint, I was like, okay, I could see it. The film was actually the brainchild of Carl Weathers, who thought up the movie while making Predator with Bill Duke and Sonny Landham. By the way, we covered Predator in episode
Hmm.
49, so you can check that out if you want to see our review of that. So, Mr. Will, before we like kind of jump into the movie, can we just spend a couple minutes just giving my man Carl Weathers his
Yeah.
flowers, man? I know this man, you have tremendous respect for him based on his pedigree. If you want to just start off with the football related stuff, I'll talk about a little of the music related. I mean, sorry, movie related stuff.
Yeah, the crazy thing is that he wasn't a superstar, if you will,
Mhm.
when it comes to football or anything like that. He was just a regular role player, but he played linebacker, and
I
he
know. I
seems
saw that. Yeah, this is a big dude though. 6'2", like 220, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's what I'm like.
for that time, that's a linebacker, right? Like,
Yeah, and I'm
yeah.
like, wow, I would have never thought that he played linebacker. For
Hmm.
not for us. Like I guess because the mindset I have is like I could see him at strong safety,
Yeah.
maybe a
Yeah.
wide out tight end, maybe even like something, you know, just something else other than linebacker. I think a linebacker, I'm like Ray Lewis, Brian Urlacher,
Yeah.
Dick Buckus, you know what I mean? Like Mike Singletary. Like I'm not picturing Carl Weathers. Simultaneously, I was really caught off guard that that he was born in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Like I picture him because of him not having a New Orleans accent of being somewhere either on the East Coast or the West
Yeah.
Coast.
I had him
You
for
know,
being born somewhere in California.
yeah,
Right.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah. I would have thought that too. Yeah.
But the thing too that like really got me is like um when I watched this interview of Sylvester Stallone talking about him,
Hmm.
about being athletic and having the physique and the prowessness of doing things that were hand-eye coordinated and how he was able to command it, and that was the reason why he got the Apollo Creed gig. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, he has transferable skills that make a seamless transition. Like we went to my HR mode, and I was just like, "Wow, all right, I can see that."
Yeah.
He has a very commanding presence.
He does.
He's very take charge, if you will.
Hmm.
He has the look of somebody who is charismatic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like a certain gleam, if you will, to
Yeah.
quote Marty Schottenheimer, rest in power to him, where you just know that he has it, that it factor. So for him to even see him at Raiders games, because our saying is once a Raider, always a Raider. So like they would bring him back, whatever have you. I was like, oh, he still looks like he's spry. And so when
Yeah.
his untimely passing happened, it was just like, wow,
Yeah.
I saw him on TV just a couple of days ago, whatever, whatever. So it caught me off guard when it happened. But to know that like this man was able to have a very successful career no matter what genre or field that he went into talks a lot about how he was able to stay in the moment, to be
Yeah.
present, to really hone in on what it is that he does well, and to have, if any perceived areas of improvement, he would carry that on to improve. So he's in the action films, obviously, but he's able to command more dialogue based upon him being able to deliver the lines in a very poignant way.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
he is able to switch gears altogether, and you see him in Happy Gilmore as a comedian, like in
Yeah.
a very
Funny. Yeah, he was funny in that. Yep. Yep.
but all of that stems from his roots in football, because you have to be able to talk to your teammates. And some of the guys may not be the whole rah rah. So you got to be
Yeah.
able to deal with them in that level. Some of the guys may be happen to be on some, let's run through the wall and do cake stands or whatever. So you got to be able to blend in seamlessly to all these different areas. And it all stems from the fact that determination, that's football right there. That's sports.
Yeah.
Team building, group dynamic. Again, that's another sports thing.
Sports. Yep.
The fact that he was able to set out certain goals and accomplish them and check them off one by one. Again, that's a skill that's cultivated in football. So
Yeah.
I just say that to say, like, hey, he's around, because the Raiders are known as a very obtuse group. Some might call us rebellious and rambunctious. I'll take that too. But the point is that he was able to go into that group and flourish, to
Yeah.
have a career and have that transition into later in life other things. And then he was no longer known for being just a sports guy, just an athlete, just a former football player. Most people wouldn't even have known that unless
Yeah.
you really do a search on that.
Yeah, I would not have known it. And then, when I think about the movies that he's in, especially even you see it in Rocky, but you also see it in Action Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
This is a guy who actually knows how to box. Like
Yeah, for
actually
real.
knows how to fight. Like I remember hearing that Muhammad Ali watched the Rocky films and
Mm,
watched Apollo Creed and said like that guy's got some skill. Like
okay.
you can see like he kind of knows what he's doing. Like, and it's one thing, you can be good at playing a sport, but being good at playing a sport doesn't necessarily mean you're an athlete.
Correct.
Carl Weathers was an athlete,
Yeah.
somebody who could like he's a football player, but he's got the boxing part. He can do the stunts, and then like
Mm-hmm.
something you mentioned, which is not something we should look over, is like this is also do this in great shape.
Oh
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like he has the presence where that scene in Predator when him and
Oh, and Arnold
Schwarzenegger
did.
slap arms and you see their muscles, everybody.
Yeah,
Like we joked about how that made me want to do push-ups. You know what I mean? When I was watching that, I'm like, dang, I'm not strong enough to watch this film. You know what I mean? Like, but that was like that. Who else was like that? I
you
mean,
know,
who else was on the scene that was a black man that was like his
Wesley Snipes
physical,
is the only other
his
person
physical.
that comes to mind.
Yeah, but Wes was a little bit
Oh
later
yes,
though. You
yeah,
know what
he's
I mean? Like,
smaller. Yeah,
and
shorter.
like and for Carl Weathers, yes, he's got a character like Action Jackson, but I think Apollo Creed is a character that means so much to so many.
Timeless.
Right. We started this podcast doing Creed too. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like, and it's interesting because like I think the legend of the Apollo Creed character got even bigger because of the Creed movies
Mm-hmm.
that then made people that maybe had not seen them go back and then rediscover that version of Carl Weathers at the same time where he's playing Grief Cargo in The Mandalorian
Mm-hmm.
on Disney Plus for that audience. So like when I just see the trajectory of his career, like you said, it's a testament to your flexibility, to your skill set, and to your willingness to take chances. Like there's not when we think about like professional athletes, professional football players that became actors, it's like Jim Brown, of course,
Mm-hmm.
you might think of Thomas Jones if you remember, like him
Yeah, with
playing.
the
And then it's
Jets and the
like,
Cardinals.
right, but you don't really think of Carl Weathers, but Carl Weathers is in that group of people too as well. And maybe, of course, he didn't have no one has very few people have the career of Jim Brown,
Mm-hmm.
but he was a professional football player and then parlayed that into something else that allowed him to be successful and build a great career and a great legacy for himself.
Oh no, but it's also admirable because Carl Weathers, he has a master's degree from San Diego State. He has the bachelor's degree from San Francisco. So academic wise, intelligence, and they're not synonyms, mind you.
Yeah.
He's able to delve into that area as well, and it's showcased in Action Jackson when they talk about
Yes.
he has a Harvard
Harvard
degree,
degree.
and
Yes.
then going back to the Predator joint when he's chained up and you see him like this, like you're able to. Everyone does notice his physique,
Yeah.
which again comments to the determination and the ability to rely on a system that allows him to stay focused on his bodybuilding, working out, et cetera, et cetera. But I think the thing that's chief for me as far as his athletic prowessness, is that he's an undrafted football player. You know, at a
Mhm.
time during the '70s, which like it's almost mission impossible
Yeah, to
to
get in
really
the league at
pursue
that point. Yeah.
football, yeah, on a full time basis because a lot of these guys had part time jobs in the summer or whatever
Yep.
have you.
Got to sell insurance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then on top of it, you know, here's a guy who was dealing with racism at a time during the 60s while he's in college. And
Yeah.
then he's still determined to say, hey, you know what? I'm still going to try and, you know, pursue this professional football gig. And amidst all odds, he still manages to carve something out for himself. So for me, I just look at it as a testament to the man, the myth, and the
Absolutely.
legend, because the character, it all stems with the type of person he is. And
Yeah.
his character is something that we talk about amongst all the actors and actresses that we tend to favor or cover more frequently, is that the one thing that they have in common is that, you know, nothing is going to deter them from projecting what it is that they want to do. They have an internal belief that is fostered from a strong family base or a spiritual base, whatever it is. But at the same time, they're still able to carry that forward into their careers, and that is the proof in the pudding is the longevity.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt, man. So, absolutely, man. Salute to
Yeah,
Carl Weathers, man. Rest in power,
yes,
as it
sir.
said, man. It was a joy to see him on this in this movie, where he's playing this role, Action Jackson. He's a cop, like you said. He's a cop with a Harvard law degree, right? So
Bill
it's
Bill
important.
Duke said it.
Right.
If I had
It's
a
a
Harvard college degree,
Right.
I'm not being a
Right.
cop.
And by the way, I mean Bill Duke with like
Shout
glasses,
out.
them little glasses on, man.
Yeah.
If he looks like the type of dude that, accidentally kills the hooker at the bachelor party. Like that, he just had that look to him in the whole joint, man. Like, shout out to Bill Duke. It was just weird to see it because like he's so like tight, in this
Yeah.
in
You
this
know you done
movie.
messed up now, don't you?
Right, exactly. But he was like a little chill there. When he put them glasses on, no, that was like next level strange. But to take it back to Action Jackson, it's like it's important that the character is smart, right?
Mm-hmm.
They want to make sure that the character is smart and that he's physical, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's like this like it's like I was thinking when I was watching this, it reminded me a little bit of like you remember Tango and Cash,
Of
and the whole
course.
thing with Tango and Cash is like
Sylvester
Tank
Stallone is the
is the
intelligent one.
smart, yeah, guy with the
Sophisticated.
right, with the suits and the the ties and everything, and then Kurt Russell is like the wild dude, or like you
Mm-hmm.
see that with like
He
Lethal
has the
Weapon.
suspenders on and everything.
Yeah,
So
exactly,
Sylvester's character.
exactly. But it's like Carl Weathers in this movie, Action Jackson is both put in
Yeah, he's an
one.
amalgamation of the two.
You know what I mean? And it was intentional to do that. And it's
Yeah.
like I can imagine. I could imagine in 1988, you walk into a movie theater as a black person, and you're seeing that black man. You're seeing how he's carrying himself, and you see his physicality and his strength and his intellect. That's the modern day superhero. You know what I mean? It's almost like in the vein of like the black exploitation films, but without the negative kind of like you a pimp or
Yeah.
a drug dealer kind of thing. Instead he's out here trying to solve crimes and everything. So those are like some of the parts that I just loved watching that. You know what I mean? Even though we're about to talk about the movie now, but like just the idea of the character, I just loved it, man. So
Oh no, but the character is the movie, I believe.
it
And
is. It's not much else there.
well, no, not just from that standpoint either. What I'm keying on is okay. You have this strong male character who, once they tell the backstory about him, like it's not him doing it; it's other people around him
Yes, the
telling what it's
legend of
about.
yeah.
So what happens is, for me, it's building up this gravitas about him, and it's a
Hmm.
slow build because you hear the two street cops, and one of them is Tackleberry from what you call it? I can't think of his name right
Police
now,
Academy,
from
yeah,
Police
yeah.
Academy,
Hmm.
and the other one is Roger Aaron Brown, who I've seen in like a bunch of stuff too. So they're telling the story to the kid who's trying to steal or whatever,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
they're telling all these Paul Bunyan type stories and
Hmm.
everything like that. So you get one aspect. Then when you meet him, all he has to say is like, chill out or mellow out. I think he says
Mhm.
mellow out, and the
Yeah.
kid faints, and then he meets with his old partner again, and they're trading war stories, whatever. So you get another aspect. So
Mhm.
within like the first couple of minutes of the movie, you're
It's a
getting
great build up.
three
Yeah,
different
it's a great
portrayals
build up.
till
Yeah.
he finally meets with his captain, Bill Dukes, and then all of a sudden you hear him saying, "No, you cost yourself your lieutenant bars." So now you're getting a complete totality. Like this guy is now a four-dimensional individual. Like you're not just, yeah, you have the stereotypes of like, oh, he's the loose, reckless cannon who's running the streets on some cowboy stuff. But then you get the guy who's sensitive enough to embrace the differences of his comrades, where he says to them like, yo, you got to make sure you hold up yourself in a more upright build,
Yeah.
standing. He doesn't curse. He tells the other guys
Yeah.
like, hey, what are you doing over here? We represent this, that, and the third. And he has morals and he has boundaries. And then when you even meet him again, when he's talking to Delafane, one of the things you see him is he's interacting with the elder statesmen, and they're talking about
Yeah, they're talking about, yeah,
law,
like,
and they're
yeah,
talking
yeah, yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
causalities and
Mhm.
indemnification and such, and he's spouting this. And then that's when he meets Sharon Stone's character Patrice, and he's able to be suave and debonair and
Yeah.
very charming. And then all of a sudden he meets Delafane. So the movie encompasses all these different influences.
Yeah.
At the 80s, you're dealing with bigger and grandeur and explosives and
Yeah,
stuff, and
lots of explosions there,
and
and he
he's
fits
able
right
to
in.
get in there. Yeah, he's able to
Yeah.
do that very well. But at the same time, he's very sophisticated and knowledgeable, and you're like, oh, this throws us off for a curve. So
Yeah.
it's a Action Jackson for me is a very pleasant surprise where I'm
Yeah,
able to
it's a
delve into
fun
the nostalgia.
yeah, it's a fun joint to watch, no doubt, man. All right, yo, let's jump into the cake, man. So what you got on your cake from Action Jackson?
Well, we already talked about Carl Weathers. I like the supporting cast because it was like a who's who of
Mhm.
80s films. Well, like I said, ranging from Roger Aaron Brown to Ed Ross, who's in what's the Eddie Murphy joints where he's a cop?
48
Beverly Hills
hours.
Cop.
Oh,
Beverly Hills
Beverly Hills
Cop
Cop,
2,
yeah.
where he and he's also in another 48 hours actually with the Sandman and everything. And you got Dennis Hayden, Robert Devine, who's in what was that? Raw Deal with
Arnold
Arnold
Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger. You have Al Young, who plays the Asian guy with the hair
Yep.
with the
Mhm.
receding hairline. So
Yep.
it was just real
Yep.
cool to see all these people from my childhood again. And then a lot of the memorable action scenes. CJ and I were talking about in the pre-production meeting when he was like, "How do you like your ribs?" Or
Yeah.
or a lot of the funny one-liners where he's on the cab and he's like, "I shouldn't have done this,"
Yeah.
and just things like
It's
that. Hot,
yeah.
hotter, and hottest, where he's driving a Fiero. By the way, one of my favorite cars as a kid growing up.
Mhm.
And then seeing him telling about the guy he rams into who's in Swamp Thing, and he tells him to hold on to this as the
Oh, yeah.
guy's spitting up blood. So just the funny one-liners did it for me, man. What you got?
There it is. Yo, so I gotta start, man, with my man Peter Anthony Delaplane, man. Yo,
Craig T. Nelson.
this dude is like one of the great, just dirty white villains in a movie, man. Like, yo, like, let's just look at this dude's resume. Like, he's killing people in the union to leverage the union to get votes so that he can affect the presidency. Like, that's his plan.
Kingmaker, he said. I want to
Like,
be a kingmaker.
he kills his wife because she looks like she might think that
That he's a
Jackson can
killer.
no, she doesn't even suspect him. She just thinks Jackson can help him. And he's like, nah, you got to go. Like, he's like getting black girls hooked on heroin. Like, he's a villain, man. He actually tells Carl Weathers, Action Jackson character, I'm gonna frame you with a black guy that doesn't actually look like you, but looks close enough for the average white person, because most of us can barely tell you apart. Like, with a straight face, wow, Carl Weathers is chained up like it's a scene from Roots. I mean, like, this dude is the ultimate villain, man. Like, I love it. I'm here for Peter Anthony Delaplane as a villain in this movie, the old school 1980s. I don't Yo, just randomly beats up the Asian guys that work for him. He's a
He
terror, man.
broke his arm.
This dude is a menace, man. He's a racial menace, man. This guy's a community killer, man. Like, I love it, man. So look,
I love it. It's crazy.
I gotta start with Peter Anthony Delaplane. Shout outs to Craig T. Nelson for playing a great villain. Then next, You talked about the supporting cast, Vanity. I just love Vanity in this because
Rest in
Vanity is
power.
like,
Shout out to her.
yo, absolutely. This is the type of woman that messes your credit up. You know what I mean? Like, this is like you're late to work all the time, mess with somebody like this. You go to her house, it's nothing but old Chinese food and pickles in her refrigerator. Like, it's great.
Pickles.
It's perfect. Like you watch it, and I'm like, yeah, absolutely, I
Oh
get it.
man.
She absolutely, I can see why Delaplane likes her. I can see why Action Jackson likes her. I can see why any guy likes her because it's a mess, but it's a beautiful mess. It's like she's great in this. You know what I mean? Like whoever did the
She
cast,
continually talks about getting her fix, and
right? She's high. She's just a high in your car the whole time, nodding
he
off, and you
says she
love
got
it.
a
And you
sweet tooth.
right, and you're driving her around. He's driving her around, flirting with her still. Like it's nuts. But like I said, I love it. You
And
talked about
shout out to
Carl.
Billy in this joint too, with
Right.
another
Yeah.
knife scene.
Yeah, right. He had to do it. Right. It's like they was like, it's like when they were talking about it, they were talking about like the movie, and he was like, hey, can I get in it? And it was like, yeah, just bring the knife from Predator. You can be in it. And he was there. So yeah. And then like you just said, Carl Weathers is great with his just charisma and his presence in the film. And like structurally, one of the things I like is how the movie really shows you the parallels between Delaplane and
Mm-hmm.
Jackson. So it's like you believe like there's a line where Sharon Stone where Patrice tells him like you know Peter kind of remind are like the same, and they're both like,
Mm-hmm.
nah, that's not true. But they are. They're both crazy. Like
Yeah.
even their fight at the end is crazy. Like when he puts the gun down
Wait,
and
CJ, hold on, time out. First of all, this dude should be getting away. Didn't he mention getting a helicopter? Then he
right,
stops to
no,
inject her with heroin
no, he's
instead of
like,
trying to get
no,
away.
no, right. And then he's like, then at the end, he's like, nah. Look, this is why I love Peter Delaplay.
She
At the end,
said,
he's
just
like,
shoot
nah,
him.
nah, let's do it a fair one. Nah, we could shoot each other, but instead, let's just
No,
fight.
Vanity says, don't do it, Jackson. Just
Just
shoot
shoot
him.
him. I know. That's what I'm thinking too. Right. But because they're both crazy and they're both the same guy, they're just like, nah, let's put the guns down and fight. You just drove a
Oh, that's the
freaking
other thing, too. It costs you your stripes and your gun permit.
right,
How are you
right.
a
How are
cop?
you a cop? Right. I know he's out there with the wooden gun from the other
With
guys. You know what I mean? Like, what is this, man? It's but yeah, I loved it. I love shout yo, Peter Anthony, I love it. I love it. I'm here
oh,
for it, man. All right, so look, that's that's the cake, yo.
oh, man.
What do you have? What do you have for the hate, man? What do you have?
In no particular order, shout out to Miguel A. Nunez Jr., who's in the joint from Joanna Man and other such
Yeah, I
films
think
and
I
such.
missed that joint.
No, he's the dude who says, "Oh yeah, you wanted to see Papa Doc? Okay,
Oh
well,
yeah, okay, yeah, the
uh,
Papa Doctor, yeah. Oh
so
right, yes, yeah, I know you're talking
yeah."
about. I know you're talking about. Yeah.
So not only do I not understand any of the lingo from that time that's supposed to be b-boy, hip hop, rap, slang, whatever, but I'm supposed to feel threatened by him waving a knife at me if I'm
It's
Carl
weird.
Weathers?
It's that whole scene is weird. That whole scene, and then like he does like the I'm a religious freak
Yeah.
kind of What is that? That
Yo,
was
let me lay my hands upon you.
that was, and then they're playing the choir music in the back. Like
Yeah.
what? That was a weird scene, man.
Oh, and shout out to Branscombe Richmond, rest in power. That's the he's Hawaiian. I think he's Samoan, but he always plays like some type of mixed race, biracial, could be Filipino, could be some type of Spanish speaking person, whatever have you, who's next to him, and he
Mhm.
says, "Follow the bouncing." But just that scene alone, where
Yeah,
they're lecturing him, I'm like, "Come on, dude,
yeah.
what are you like?
That's
You
yeah,
should be like just beating him up
yeah.
already."
I don't understand that. Yeah,
Another thing is, if we're going to be like we normally do, the limited character development, like you have all these supporting characters in there, and they just seem like cartoonish and thrown in there just because.
yep.
Um, I the tone inconsistencies, like we just highlighted in the scene alone. 1 minute is dark, gritty, it's a thriller, it's action paced. The next minute is buffoonish and cartoonish and
Yeah,
silly and zany. So I had some problems with that. And then the dialogue cliches. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. No.
certain one-liners and just the exchanges seem dated. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they do.
Like
Yeah, and it doesn't. It's like he was trying to get like a catchphrase that would
yeah,
work,
yeah, yeah,
but
and
none of them did,
none of
except
them
for
stuck.
how do you like your ribs? Except for that one, I like that.
What you got, CJ, on the
Yo,
dislike?
everything that you said. I mean, the plot is just like, yo, why would the cops send him to Delaplane's party where he's getting a
He's the
reward?
known guy. They have an animus against each
Right.
other.
It's like setting him up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
for failure.
it's just that's ridiculous.
It's not even realistic.
And then he's supposed to be alleged to have killed Patrice Delaplane. There's nobody looking for him. No cops are looking
How
for
she
him.
end
No,
up in his space and he's
no.
not there and he's a
Right.
cop? Like, what's the
Right. Like
motive?
what are the cops doing? What kind of police work are they? Yeah, the
She
plot
has
just
no
falls
clothes
apart.
there. She's butt naked in his house. How'd she get there? Where's her
How'd she get
clothes at?
there? Right. It's just right. And she got shot in the chest by a gun that he doesn't have
He doesn't even have access
because he
to.
doesn't have a gun. it's it's ridiculous, man. The plot is ridiculous. And then the one thing that I think is kind of funny is like for a movie called Action Jackson, I don't think there's actually a lot of
No,
action
there's
in
not a
this
lot of
movie,
action.
man. It's a lot of like driving around and talking in the
Mm-hmm.
movie. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's like there's a scene where Vanity is saying to him like, "I know ain't no woman ever called you Action Jackson." And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm watching and I'm like, damn, it really is no action in this movie right now. So yeah, man, that's the things that I did not like about it, man. All
Let's
right,
get
what
into these
you
questions, man.
yeah, what you got on the question, man? Go ahead, you go first, man. Mine are a little bit longer and
All right. So, first question. In what ways does the film portray corporate corruption through the character of Peter Delaphane? And what might this suggest about public attitudes toward big business at that time?
yo, once again, thank you for asking me a question that allows me to talk about Peter Anthony Delaplane because
You're welcome.
first of all, his eyebrows and his hair are not the same color. That's the first thing. Right away, that's you gotta see that, right? Like he
Mhm.
doesn't have like that, everything is mismatched from that point forward, right?
Yeah.
So like I've been in the background. I'm gonna get answer your question here, but in the
Yeah, yeah, no
background,
doubt.
I've been putting together a list of like the 64 best movie villains, right?
Mm.
And I'd forgotten about this character. I watched this
64 though.
movie, yeah, like almost like a March Madness tournament style thing,
Okay.
right? And Peter Anthony Delaplane is an automatic bid into the list of
Mm.
once again, this guy is just an absolute villain. I mean, he is what everyone thought an idea of a corporate bad guy would be in the 80s that everyone knows now is like a real life villain.
Mm.
As nuts as his storyline is, we have people like that now
Oh, no
in real
doubt. No
life.
doubt.
You know what I mean? Only their eyebrows and hair match. But outside of that, it's the same thing. So it's like the idea of these people who, like you said, are like kingmakers and want to be behind the throne, but want to leverage who's in office and what the
Mm.
policies are. That's
Yeah,
America in
yeah.
2026. You know what I mean? So in that case, it's not. I guess maybe it's not that funny.
No. No, you got that right. In what ways do the supporting characters, particularly those played by Vanity and Sharon Stone, add emotional complexity or narrative tension?
Yeah, the scenes I like the most with Sharon Stone are the ones when she's with Action Jackson
Mm, mm.
because I feel like it gives like there right beneath the surface there's this almost like she likes him. Maybe she's attracted
Yeah,
to him, but not
tension.
yeah, but at the same time he doesn't trust her fully,
Right, right,
but
right.
he thinks he can use her. So they're kind of like those scenes. I liked some of those scenes the best because it's like I didn't really the chemistry she has with Carl Weathers is actually to me better than
Right.
than the chemistry that she has with Craig T. Nelson. Like they don't seem like they're
No.
really together like that. So I think her character helps to flesh out some details on the Action Jackson character. And then the thing with Vanity is Vanity actually has chemistry with both of them. Like
Hmm.
Vanity works. Like I can see Vanity's character being with Peter Delaplane, and I can see her being with Action Jackson, and I can see
Yeah.
both of them wanting to be with her, knowing that the other one has been with her already.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing. So it's like I think both of those characters, both of the women, Patrice um
Sydney.
and Sydney, thank you. They help you to see how much Delaplane and Jackson are like each other because that's why they both kind of like the same
Yeah,
women.
say same type of woman. Yeah.
Mhm.
How does the film function as a cultural artifact reflecting the style, politics, and cinematic trends of that era?
Yeah, I mean, like it's right. Like you said, the catchphrases, the like, I gotta say something before I kill you.
Yeah, the bad
That's
guy
the
explaining his whole
that's
plot.
the right. The black guy, right? Like, I got you chained up. Now I can tell you everything. We don't just shoot you in the head. We gotta like set you
I'm
on
gonna
fire.
fire.
Push you into a lake of fire, and then put you out and cut you with lightsabers. Like, why? Why do we do all that? Just shoot him and be done with, it, right?
Yeah.
That's some 1980s stuff, man. And then, like you said, the big explosions and all this
Mm,
wanton property damage that happens that no one seems to care about, and like, Jackson's driving a Ferrari Testarossa through a house up steps, and like that's the car from Rad Racer. Like I
mm.
remember that, from the Nintendo back in the day. So it's like it's all of those little elements that like it makes it funny. It makes it fun to watch. Like it's
Yeah,
definitely a nostalgia piece, and I dig that about it.
I dig it, man.
So, all right, man. So I got some questions for you, man. So here's my first one. All right. So I've seen this online many times. So I can't take credit for the setup, but all
Okay.
right. So Dylan and Apollo Creed and Action Jackson are all in an elevator, and a fight breaks out. Who's coming out victorious?
Oh, I've never seen this joint. I've never. Oh, this is dag. Okay. I'm gonna go with Apollo Creed, man. Just on some like he's the spawn of all of them. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
one, Dylan is more of an analyst than he is an operator at this point. Apollo is
Hmm.
active still. Like he's a
Hmm.
boxer and he's got
Yeah.
that hunger and desire to stay champion. Action Jackson is he's more of an idealist, and Apollo will get down and dirty, and
Yeah.
he'll be like, you know what? While you're trying to come up with a catchphrase, I'm just
I'm
gonna
knocking
knock
you
you
out.
out. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's it. With respect to Dylan, you know, not just that he's more of an analyst at this point, but also he's caught up in the bureaucracy and his career and advancement. He's gonna be rusty. So
Yeah. He's not gonna
I'm
be
thinking,
ready for that right
yeah, he's not
cross,
ready
man.
for that.
Yeah.
Apollo's in shape. Yeah, he's probably coming off of what is it, 88? So yeah, he's right before he's about to get into the match with Ivan Drago.
Ivan Drago.
So
Yeah,
he's still
man.
the champ. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going with Apollo.
Okay, got it. So Apollo Creed. All right, next question. So all right, so we talked about before, but what is the most 1980s thing about this movie to you?
Easy. This is the explosions, man.
This
The constant pyrotechnics, wanting to burn stuff up, blow stuff
right,
up for no
right,
reason.
right.
Yeah.
They blew up a whole boat.
They blew
A whole boat
yo,
and blew up it right
not
to
just the
bits.
boat, but they blew up half his house, a
I
mansion for no reason. Who drives a car through a house?
know. How can you do that, man? Why are you driving the Rad Racer car through his house?
Yo, he goes
Yeah,
to the Delaphane Haley's Comet plant in Detroit just to set some guy on fire and blow up another guy with a grenade launcher. Who
right.
walks around with a grenade launcher?
I know. It's overkill. It's overkill. It's overkill on 1,000, man. It
Yeah.
is. It is. All right. If this movie were released today, so February 2026, Action Jackson comes out, what's one major change that would have been made to the movie?
Oh, on the rewrites? Oh man, I don't even know where to
Just just one
start.
just one thing, like just like if it's 20, because some of this is like it
Yeah.
only works in the 80s. But if
Yeah,
this was
yeah,
like
yeah.
now, what do you think they would add or subtract to this?
I mean, let's just start off with something small. It's not going to take place in Detroit. It's not going to be about cars. If it is, it'll be about like clean energy, and then maybe they talk about a Tesla or
Mm.
something like that. You know what I mean?
I like
Um,
that. Yeah, that's very
yeah,
2026. Yep.
you know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
like
Something
that.
like that.
Yeah, I like that. The clean energy play. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. All right. What's another 1980s movie or franchise that Carl Weathers could have played the lead in?
Yo, on the real, Die Hard. I could really picture him doing that. Yeah, you know why? Because
That would be very interesting.
because it falls right into him being able to do his own stunts, his own actions, witty
Hmm.
one-liners, being charismatic, say being the hero, saving the
Hmm.
day, carrying a movie by himself because of his stage presence. Yeah, I'm going with that.
Hmm.
And the fact that like as he ages, he still maintains like some resemblance of what he used to be. Because that was one of the
Yeah.
draws with Bruce Willis. Like you still envision him
Yeah.
saying yippee ki and jumping off of the building or
Yeah.
whatever, and then as he got older, he was on some Danny Glover, I'm too old for this.
I like that.
Carl Weathers aged very gracefully, man.
I like that. That's a good call,
Uh,
man. All right. Cool. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, man. What you got on the popcorn, man?
oh, I'm going with three easily, man. Obviously we critiqued it to death about some of the things that makes it very fallible. But
Mm-hmm.
there's things in there that are so memorable that it's endearing.
Yeah.
So it's not over the top good, it's not over the top bad, it's just right.
Yeah, yeah, I would say too, man. Three boxes. It's like it's a fun watch. Certainly, if you were alive at that time,
Yeah,
you know, what I mean,
yeah.
if you remember the character and the song, like
Mm-hmm.
he turned me out. Like you remember that, like yo, that's funny. Like you like that. So I enjoyed watching it. It's definitely
Oh,
three. Definitely gets three boxes for
yeah.
me. You know what I mean? It's like it sometimes a movie is not self-aware in a way that's still
Mm.
interesting. Like it's not aware that it's not like necessarily good, but it's a good watch. So dig it. Shout outs to that, man. All right, hot takes. I'm gonna jump into mine first because
Yeah,
mine,
shoot.
I don't know if this is controversial or not, but it's like this movie is rated R, right? And I can't understand why it's really rated R because it's not like it's
Add
the
cursing, add more than one curse word, that's why.
sure, but I think this movie needed to have some sex in it. And I think that's what I think
Yeah,
that's what
partial nudity.
no, I need like no, they no. If Devil Plane is gonna be shooting people up with heroin and everything, there should some it should have been like I because I'd actually forgotten the movie. So I was like,
Mm.
oh, is he about to have sex with Vanity in this movie? And then it's like, oh no, he's not. Like, okay,
Well, they
okay.
also had the floating testicles in the jar.
No, I want no this action. Like, where's the action? Like, I think my hot take is just that it should have been something like you have two of at the time some of the most
Yeah,
beautiful women in Hollywood. You got these
starlets.
charismatic
Yeah.
dudes. You know what I mean? Like, it's all this sexual tension. It's the '80s. You can do
Mm.
whatever you want. Like, where was that? Like, so
Yeah.
I think my hot take is they should have had at least one or two scenes in there.
That's fair. I get it. Leaning into the genre as it was at that time and the stereotypes. Yeah, I dig it.
Something, yeah, something.
I dig it.
That's me though. Everybody's not. Whatever.
For me, it's this movie was supposed to be the centerpiece or the it piece that facilitated Carl Weathers to being the next action hero. Like this was
Yeah.
supposed to showcase his talents as another box office draw who could carry a movie or even a franchise because there was
Mhm.
franchise possibilities with this movie, and I was
Yep.
kind of surprised why they didn't have a part two. Um, but then again, I think that's why they went to the whole Beverly Hills Cop deviation, and they did that with Eddie Murphy. So less more about brawn and fighting and slugging it out, which probably, to your point, if they would have leaned into it with this movie, it might have been a little bit more
Yeah.
what they were
I can
looking
see
for.
that.
They were probably thinking, he could be the black equivalent of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Mhm.
Because he is 6'2", 220, full of ripping muscles, et cetera, full teeth, smile, full hairline, etc. So I'm thinking that they had high expectations for this, but for whatever reason, it didn't live up to it, and they just pulled the plug. Whether that be to the climate with Reaganomics and the racial issues at the time, or the non-discussed racial elements. I mean, we're also about to go into 3 years later with Rodney King. So I'm
Mm.
thinking, they pulled the plug on this prematurely. Due to a myriad of outside issues, noise, et cetera, et cetera. But this gave the audience a glimmer as to what you could expect from Carl Weathers in the future.
There it is. There it is, man. So that's our review of Action Jackson, which, as we said, is on Apple TV. It's also on Prime TV right now. If you want to rent it, we will be back next week. We're still in the '80s next week, man. So
Yeah.
next week we're gonna be back with the Last Dragon. Barry Gordy's the
You
Last
got the
Dragon.
glow.
Right. Gives us another chance to talk about vanity. So you're like, it's vanity, sort of almost like Vanity Black History Month. That's what's
Oh, that's what
happening.
it is.
That's almost like what's happening right now. But once again, the Sticky Floors podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts. We're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify Podcasts, we're on YouTube, where we want you to like and subscribe and share. We are also on Threads, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. There's so many different ways to connect with us if you want to continue to talk about the movies that we're talking about. And we will see you next week. Peace.